To summarize part one, when you get out of the military, take the time to ask yourself what it is you actually want to do. And not just like what satisfies you, but what you are actually inspired to do, what you're actually interested in. Then once you have that figured out, start doing that. Find a way to engage with that as a hobby. And you want to do this because you are in charge of your life. You are the only person you have to satisfy. And mission readiness is no longer a thing. So you don't have to go do a bunch of military type stuff if you don't want to. And furthermore, I think it's good to have non-military hobbies because it gives you something to direct that energy towards. I think most people probably have a moment in their military career where they had that shift in thinking that comes from a situation where, like, you have a pile of dirt, 1,000 empty sandbags, and an MRE box, and you say, how am I supposed to fill all these sandbags? And then your first line looks at you and says, I don't know, you figure it out. And then like 12 hours later, you're done. Well, that sort of thinking can be so pervasive and can be so hard to shake. And I know in myself, and it seems like many other people, it's easy to get kind of wigged out if you don't have something to do. So giving yourself something to do is huge, especially if it's something that isn't at all related to the military. Examples for me are learning everything there is to know about making hard apple cider or apple wine. Or learning about Eastern religions. And I think, frankly, the enormity of the task, or at least what feels like enormity of the task, really does help. Like, seriously, last weekend I read about malolactic fermentation for 4 hours, and then decided I'm not even going to do it. And then the upside of doing this, besides having a freaking cool hobby, and for the record, this could also go for, like, working on cars or something else. But anyway, it gives you a thing. Because it seems like most people, no matter how they feel about the military, will still talk about that they were in the military. Or that they are in the military or whatever. And this is usually a spectrum from like your grunt style shirt wearing guys to like the ones who are maybe at work at a civilian job and maybe tell a military story sometimes. I think it helps to have a hobby or an interest because it gives you something else. You get to be a something else kind of person. Nobody wants to be an Uncle Rico. And it's not to say that people who are really proud of what they did in the past are lame or anything like that. To the contrary, I think that stuff's really awesome. But at least for me, I feel like having something to do in the present that I have done after the military is just paramount. So I don't feel like I'm beholden to this person that I used to be in this life that I chose to leave. Now I can be the guy who was in the military and works out as best as I can. And reads a lot of books and makes wine and won't shut up about making wine. It's like working on the house and doing all that other stuff. Because no matter what, you're no longer Sergeant so-and-so. So you can either let life take you or you can decide who you're going to be.